Hello everyone, we are from Student Group Discussion, B3 Udayana Medical School. We are going to present about prescribing liver disease in elderly.
Hello, my name is Imade Satraunanta and my student identification number is 2002511071. Today I would like to give a background about our group student projects titled Prescribing Liver Disease in Elderly. The elderly, defined by Law Number 13 of 1998, as someone with the age of 60 or above, has been getting much attention lately. Indonesia was entering the aging period in 2020. Various fronts, including the healthcare system, should be prepared to accommodate the need of growing geriatric patients. In order to appropriately treat geriatric patients, a holistic approach is required, as treatment, particularly in prescribing drugs for the elderly, is complicated. Geriatric patients often comes with various coexisting medical conditions. Thus, these patients' populations with multimorbidity are likely to be prescribed with more medicine that ultimately cause inappropriate prescribing or IP in the elderly. Challenges in prescribing for the elderly comes from the heterogeneity of older people in terms of medical conditions such as concomitant illnesses. Thus, an in-depth understanding of altered pharmacokinetics, altered pharmacodynamics, and changes in physiology due to aging is compulsory in prescribing drugs to the elderly. Inside the body, most drugs undergo chemical alteration primarily by the liver. The fact is relevant in accordance with prescribing drugs to the elderly, since liver diseases such as cirrhosis, alcoholic liver disease, and non-alcoholic steatohepatitis is becoming increasingly prevalent in older people. Both physiological and pathological changes in the liver associated with aging should always be considered before prescribing drugs to the elderly, because these changes often have clinically significant effects on drugs. As such, it becomes increasingly clear that a further understanding of the physiological and pathological changes in the liver as we age is important in determining appropriate prescription in the growing population of the elderly.
Hello everyone, my name is Ndami Mamasela and my student ID number is 2002511070. And today I'd like to be telling you guys about the problem formulation, objectives, and benefits of this student project. The problem that we are discussing, including what are some physiological changes in the liver associated with aging? How do drugs induce liver disease? And what are some examples of the treatment of liver disease among elderly? So the objective of the student projects are the first, to explain some physiological changes in the liver associated with aging. Secondly, to understand how drugs induce liver disease. And last but not least, to explain the treatment of liver disease among elderly. So the benefits of the student project are as follows. The first, theoretical benefits, aim to invigorate knowledge and cognition surrounding drug prescribing of liver diseases in the elderly. The student project is expected to increase the understanding about prescribing in elderly patients and serves as literature for further research and reading references related to pharmacology for all the students. So are the practical benefits. The student project is expected to increase the knowledge of healthcare professionals about prescribing drugs in elderly so they can apply it in daily life or work decently.
Hello, my name is Nadia Zalfakilah, and in this occasion, I would like to explain about the general discussion of physiological changes associated with aging. So, aging itself is a natural process of the human life cycle, which is categorized by the gradual cellular degeneration of organ systems and tissues, combined with the loss of biosynthetic and cellular repair mechanism. So, aging is primarily caused by genetics and affected by a broad variety of environmental causes. This is why that two people can significantly differ both in terms of physiological state and physical appearance, even if they are the same age. So virtually, all organ systems are implicated in the individual physiological changes associated with aging, but most organs can be seen for their subtle irreversible changes with gradual deterioration within the age by the third and for decades of their life. So, and this includes liver, which is going to be explained by my friend. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Jason Emery. My student identification number is 2002 511 and 081. And today I'll present about the physiological changes associated with aging. So in most cases, the volume of the liver is decreased by 20% to 40% in elderly people with increasing quality. The number of hepatocytes has increased. The number of mitochondria in hepatocytes is also decreasing, but the amount of individual volume of mitochondria is increasing. In the elderly, liver blood flow is projected to be reduced by 35% to 50%, which may be the cause of age-related liver volume reductions. While there are individual variations, elderly people liver functions are generally well maintained. Hepatic enzymes and high-density lipoprotein cholesterols levels are stable, but bilirubin levels can decrease as muscle mass and hemoglobin concentrations decrease with age. Furthermore, after adjusting for sex, alcohol use, and components of the metabolic syndrome, age was found to be associated with moderate decreases in albumin and glutamyl transpeptidase concentrations, as well as increase in bilirubin concentrations, implying that liver functions may be reduced in these individuals. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Iding Rapataminata, the student ID number 225111061. In this presentation, I will cover about Chapter 2.2, General Drug Prescribing for Elderly. So, drug therapy optimization is an important part of the care for elderly patients. Many drugs should be used with special caution due to change in the pharmacokinetic and pharmacodynamic in the elderly. For instance, the proportional increase in body fat relative to skeletal muscle with aging may lead to increased volume of distribution, especially for lipid-soluble drugs. These include the prevention of inadequate drug, the proper use of indicated drug, the monitoring of drug level and adverse reaction, the elimination of drug interaction, patient involvement, and polypharmacy. Polypharmacy is defined as using several medicines by patient, generally between 5 and 10 drugs. It was also important to consider the number of over-the-counter and a herbal or supplement was taken by the elderly patient. The problem of polypharmacy concerns especially elderly people who tend to have more conditions of disease than younger people for whom treatment are prescribed. In the assessment of inappropriate medicine, BERT criteria are the most commonly used criteria for improper medicines. The criteria are a list of drugs that may not be suitable for use in elderly patients due mainly to the high-risk adverse event. Recent updates of these criteria were made in 2019 and are available on the website of the American Geriatric Society. That is all for my presentation. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Savani with student ID number 2002511083. The drug-induced liver disease in elderly is mostly affected by liver. Liver plays an important role in pharmacokinetics as it is metabolizes the drugs introduced to the body. But as there is aging process, liver's metabolism could be reduced or inhibited by drugs itself, which later could cause drug-induced hepatotoxicity. There are three types of drug-induced hepatotoxicity: the direct, idiosyncratic, and indirect type. Those types are induced by specific drugs and specific causes. For example, the direct hepatotoxicity is caused by the high doses given, which later caused the intrinsic hepatotoxicity. The most common type is direct hepatotoxicity, which is also predictable and dose-dependent. There are several drugs that are caused liver disease in elderly. The first one is amoxicillin or clavulanic acid. The long-term amoxicillin or clavulanic acid treatment in geriatric patients could induce the drug excretion to be slower, which later could cause immune response against the hepatized ductal and periductal inflammatory response. The second one is isoniazid. The long-term isoniazid treatment causes hepatocellular necrosis and in certain cases could cause liver disease and death. This is worsened in patient who is 50 years old or older that could lead to fatal outcomes.
Hello, my name is Angela Cynthia Caroline. My student ID number is 2002511068. Now I would like to continue the presentation about the drugs that induce liver disease in elderly. The next drug we have is ketoconazole. In studies done by Chin R.N. et al., during ketoconazole therapy, 7 out of 9 people experience symptomatic hepatotoxicity. Moreover, the majority of patients that experience hepatotoxicity is older people, especially older women. The next drug we have is nitrofurantoin. The use of this drug may cause acute hepatocellular necrosis, cholestatic hepatitis, granulomas, chronic hepatitis, and even fibrosis and cirrhosis, which are all manifestations of liver damage. The older the patient is, the higher the risk of nitrofurantoin-induced hepatotoxicity. The fifth drug we have is diclofenac. Diclofenac is one of the most widely used non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs in states, and it is believed as safe as the similar agents. Based on the justification criterion for hepatotoxicity, there was clinically relevant hepatotoxicity in 8 trials with 3 NSAIDs. They are celecoxib, etoricoxib, and diclofenac. And of the 3 NSAIDs, diclofenac has the highest proportion of hepatotoxicity cases. Women and others above the age of 65 are the most vulnerable. The last drug we have is methotrexate. Older patients, especially those who are older than 60 years old, are most likely to develop methotrexate-induced hepatic fibrosis. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Juliana Lim. My student ID number is 2002511080. Now we will going to talk about the diagnosis of cirrhosis. First of all, cirrhosis can caused by viral hepatitis, alcoholic liver disease, and non-alcoholic steatohepatitis. Cirrhosis can be diagnosed through additional testing based on demographic and risk factors. There are a few basic laboratory tests that should be ordered, which are complete blood count, ALT, AST, albumin, alkaline phosphatase, gamma-glutamyl transferase, total bilirubin, NPT or INR. Liver fibrosis is graded on a scale of F0 to F4 to determine or diagnosis its severity. Liver biopsy is still the gold standard for evaluating liver fibrosis when undefined or inconsistent clinical, laboratory, and imaging result persist. Liver biopsy is still recommended in those for whom transient elastography is not appropriate, or to clarify the etiology of disease after inconclusive non-invasive evaluation. Counseling, laboratory testing, and ultrasound monitoring are all the part of chronic liver disease management process. Thank you. Next.
My name is Irene Carla Aditya Pranadiningrum with student identification number 2002511075. I will explain about the treatment of cirrhosis. The first step of treatment in elderly patients with cirrhosis include the investigation of esophageal varices, malnutrition, HCC, and osteoporosis. The other necessary considerations include antibiotic prophylaxis and referral liver transplantation assessment. Non-selective beta blockers such as propranolol and nadolol reduce the risk of variceal bleeding by predominant prophylaxis of medium to large esophageal varices. Recurrent variceal bleeding and mortality can be decreased by propranolol with the dose recommendation from 40 milligrams twice a day, elevating to 80 milligrams twice a day orally, depending on the pulse rate. However, elderly patients may not tolerate this treatment because the tendency of propranolol in exacerbating orthostatic hypotension can change the risk-benefit rate in older patients. Compliance can be increased using daily dose of elongated actions of nadolol. The contraindication of this treatment is patients with chronic obstructive pulmonary disease with reversibility, severe peripheral vascular disease, heart block, and unrestrained congestive heart failure. The other drugs that can be used in management of ascites are spironolactone and furosemide. These drugs frequently cause renal dysfunction and electrolyte disturbance in older patients, hence attentive monitoring is needed.
Hello, my name is Igusti Ayurika Prangipane Vedanti. My student identification number is 20025111064. Today, I'd like to tell you about prescribing and patient with alcoholic liver disease. First of all, increasing physical-social problems may explain why excessive alcohol consumption rate happen in elderly. The clinical symptoms of alcohol liver disease in elderly are just like the younger groups, but have a higher prevalence to own complication. As we all know, liver responses differently among increasing age. Moreover, alcohol toxicity may also increase due to increased organ susceptibility and alteration of alcohol metabolism. There are 3 common treatments that are usually used with patients with alcoholic liver disease. The first one is abstinence from alcohol. Acamprosate, naltrexone, and disulfiram can be an addition with alcohol counseling. The second one, nutritional support, vitamin supplementation, such as thiamine, magnesium multivitamins, and high-protein dietary supplements are also required. And current guidelines suggest a dietary intake of protein and frequent meals, including a nighttime snack. And the third one is pharmaceutical therapy. Hepatoprotective agents were the most commonly prescribed, followed by vitamins and minerals, anti-ulcer drugs, and corticosteroid. Hepatoprotective agents such as methodoxin, pentosyphiline, and silymarin And parenteral multivitamin formulation was the most commonly prescribed, and vitamins and minerals. And for anti-ulcer drugs that is commonly used is pantoprazole and followed by oral ranitidine.
Hello, my name is Tias Parata Wirawan, and my student ID number is 200251108 and I will present about a disease called non-alcoholic steatohepatitis or NASH. As a part of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, it is considered to be a common chronic liver disease and mostly asymptomatic. NASH is characterized by cell injuries, inflammatory cells, infiltration, and hepatocyte bulimic. The first line of the NASH management is by altering the lifestyle of the patient by doing diet or exercise. Because NASH is associated with obesity and underlying insulin resistance, the efficacy of the first line management will be assessed in 6-month period, and if it is shown to be inadequate, the pharmacotherapeutic options will follow. Start with the vitamin E and its antioxidant effect, which are currently considered as the first line of the pharmacological management in NASH. It is also shown to be effectively promote resolution of the NASH. Though there's no officially approved drug available yet in the market, there are some promising drugs such as pioglitazone, which shows a significant reduction in hepatic steatosis and lobular inflammation, or the metformin and thiazolidinedione, which acts like the insulin sensitizer in patients with diabetes that shown to be effective in managing NASH by enhancing insulin sensitivity. Other drugs such as pentoxifylline works in inhibiting TNF-alpha for mediating cell injury and apoptosis in NASH. Aramco, which is associated with reduced hepatic fat, also proved to have anti-inflammatory effects. And statins, which prevent cardiovascular disease, considering the NASH alone is an independent risk factor of cardiovascular disease.
Hello everybody, my name is Iputu Aktika Dharma Yoga and my student identification number is 2002511084. So in this opportunity, I would like to conclude my friend's explanation about prescribing liver disease in elderly. In the elderly people, physiological change occur in all organ systems. One of them is liver, specifically decreasing hepatic blood flow and hepatic volume as much as 20%. This change increased bioavailability of drug with high liver extraction ratio like midazolam and morphine. In the liver of elderly people, there is a possibility occurring drug interaction that can progress become hepatotoxicity because of reducing or inhibiting liver's metabolism by the drug itself. There are several drug-induced liver disease like amoxicillin, isoniazid, and ketoconazole. Elderly people can suffer several kinds of liver disease like non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, alcoholic liver disease, and cirrhosis, which require different kinds of treatment. The first disease is cirrhosis, that the treatment is propranolol with dose 40 mg twice a day, and then nadolol, spironolactone, and furosemide. The second disease is alcoholic liver disease, that the treatment is acamprosate, naltrexone, vitamin, LIV52, pentoxifylline with dose 400 mg 3 times daily for 4 weeks, and also prednisolone with dose 40 mg daily. And the last liver disease is non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, which can be treated with vitamin E, metformin, pioglitazone, pentoxifylline, aramcol, and statin.
And that brings us to the end of our student project presentation. We would like to apologize if there are any mistakes in this presentation. And we would like to thank you for your time and for your attention.